come on. Why am I stuck on a rock? I didn't do it on purpose. Release me, please. Welcome back, everybody. We are still a little bit sick and recovering, so apologies for my stuffy nose. All right, so we've got the Goliath drill here. It is 1160. Here we have the D.A.V.I.D unit, which is 2340. All right, so we've got about 10 pipes here. We have 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. So we have nine regular straight pipes. We've got a valve. We've got our initial pressure water pump. We do have 4 pressure tanks. We have 5 water filters. And the total of that is 1209. Okay, we're also going to pick up about 4 T-junctions and about 8 to 10 elbows. This is because we'll need a couple. I'm not sure how many we're going to need specifically yet, but I don't want to keep coming back to town, so there we go. That is 264, so that's really nothing. All right, so we have all of that loaded. Now we're going to go get the conveyor parts. Okay, what we've done is, on this lot, we have got a pipe, a valve, and we kind of curve it around. Comes all the way down here. We run out of a pressure right about here. So what we've done is kind of amp this up with a pressure. It was at 0 right about here. So we bump it back up to 25%. And then we run it through some filters. And as you can tell, we're at 0 here. So it's filtered water. What we need to do is we need to pump it back up to 100% basically right here. So what we've done is we've juiced these back up to full, and now we're back at 100% pressure here. So we have placed shards in these 4, and we've brought our pressure back up to 100. So you don't have to do this long setup here. You can pick any of the other mining spots. The key is that you just have the 5 filters, and getting the pressure back up to 100% is the important part. So really, however you end up with just, you know, this grouping, and then it feeding into to both the harvester and the drill, that's really all you need. You don't have to have this really long line. You can do this at any of the sites. Alrighty, so we've got this just basic setup, and what we're gonna do is I'll show you how this works. We got all the water that comes in from the water source, and right now it's stopped here. We don't have this valve on, so we're gonna turn this valve on, and our water pressure gets down to about 0 right here, and then we just bump it right back up to 25%. We got the gauge there, and we do have some loss getting to this point, but then we're going to boost it right back up. So there's a loss of 1 per pipe, except for filters, you lose 2 per pipe. So that is going to be a loss of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, plus another 10 is 20. So we're going to be at 5% pressure right about here. And what we're going to do is boost that back up to 100. We can't go over 100, so we're going to go back up to 100 here, as is indicated. And then we're going to feed our D.A.V.I.D unit. And that D.A.V.I.D unit is going to start just producing dirt. And those dirt blocks are going to go up to the Goliath drill. And that Goliath drill we have at 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces above the D.A.V.I.D unit, and that is optimal because now it'll run forever. Since we have it up here at the top level though, I don't believe the nuggets are going to be that big, but I'll show you how that works. Let's actually put another valve in here. Like valves are good. So we're going to turn off the drill. Actually, I'm going to turn this around also. So the drill is currently off, but let's turn the water on. Okay, we're turning the water on, and what that does is immediately starts having the D.A.V.I.D unit, which is powered by a shard bar, is going to start sending soil up. So we can turn this on, but also what we've got to do is turn on the Goliath. So now it's going to start drilling, and every time it drills, it's going to spit out a chunk of dirt. And what we have to do is we have to process that chunk of dirt. The D.A.V.I.D unit will continue to add soil, which is good. Now, since we need a harvester to process that dirt, we'll go ahead and get a harvester. They're 583. One more time. So the D.A.V.I.D unit's feeding the Goliath drill. The drill is drilling, and it's gonna pop out a chunk here in a second. And there we go. Really the reason that the nuggets aren't big is because we're on the surface. So that is causing this setup to just be very minimal. Because if we go look at the size of the nugget here, that is only worth 8. I would also be wary of having everything on the same line, because while the harvesters love to have this high pressure and the filtered water, you can keep that on the same line, but it will start to deteriorate your filters quite a bit. So just that quick run, we lost, let's see, 2, total of 8, total of 18. Let's see here, 20, 31, and then another 17. So we lost 48% off of our filters for just that little bit. So we need to make sure that we don't overwork our filters, or else we're going to be spending all of our time just basically fixing things with the tools. Okay, so that we can see this setup, what we've got here is we got multiple D.A.V.I.D units, 2 each, and we have a pump, a T-junction, and each one of those is powered by a shard. And we've got 8 setups of these by 2. We have a total of 16 D.A.V.I.D units here. And what those D.A.V.I.D units do is they constantly supply dirt to our Goliath units up there. We'll go take a peek at those. Our Goliath units, they are up here. They're all powered off right now, but what you can see is we've got 2 rows of 8. And these 8 are all in the same circuit, so they all come on at the same time. And what we do is we have one pipe coming up, and it's just feeding all of these Goliaths from the same source of pressurized water. These Goliath units do spit out dirt chunks, so what we like to do is we keep these walls kind of up, and that keeps everything from shooting all over the place. It just lands right nicely on our next part of it, which are... The next part of this is our grinders. Now, I'm not actually sure why you'd ever want to go with a normal conveyor belt anymore. The grinders do the same amount of work. I think the price is about the same. and they keep the dirt clods from kind of getting all compacted. And we have this row feeds into our existing unit here. This is our first line, and this is all comes down the grinders and turns the corner here. And then these two lines kind of come together, and sometimes we'll get a little bit of a dirt clod merging, but again, our grinder units take complete care of that, so we don't have to worry about it. And then it just dumps it up into the harvester group up here. So our harvester group, what that does is it feeds these harvesters. These harvesters are on a different line. I'll show you that setup in a second. But then those harvesters, they feed these conveyors, and these conveyors are set to kind of center up everything, and it comes down here and goes onto this conveyor, turns, and then it goes into our group of splitters. These splitters then sort out the iron, the gold, the caladium shards, and the gems into their respective units. And we have those, that stuff all drops into a smelter, automated smelters. So the smelter units just kind of keep going, and they're provided all this great nuggets to melt, and they kind of combine everything for us. So the power to the Goliath drills is provided by this pump right here, and we have the 5 water pressure filter or water filters, and then we only need 3 pump units here, because that's enough to provide power for all of these. Now I probably could put in, I'd have to rearrange everything to put in some more pressurized water system up there, but these all have enough to function on filtered water. Over here we have kind of a area to capture the leftovers from the harvesters, because occasionally nuggets will drop out, and I don't like those kind of sitting around everywhere, so we have a capture unit there for that. But what we also notice is we want these harvesters to have pressurized water and it be filtered. That will make it so they process the most efficiently. This also powers our conveyor up there, and then that other unit back there is powered by that setup. And what happens is that these units just all basically bring up kind of like the droppings and feed it back into the system. So let's turn everything on. Let's see what goes on here. You can see our Goliaths are on. Let's go ahead and empty everything out here. As you can hear, everything's going now. So each one of these little nuggets of dirt has several big nuggets of gold or gems or iron in it. We're at the lowest you can go, so we're getting the biggest nuggets possible. Everything's filtered out and pressurized to 100%. Here comes another grouping here. It mainly all hits that middle harvester, but we have the other ones there kind of for looks and to capture anything that comes out. But one harvester can pretty much keep up with it all. As you can tell, this produces a lot of stuff. So you can tell by just running the system that we have for 3 minutes, we're getting about 29,000 worth of gold and about 24,000 worth of iron. So we extrapolate that out. That will end up being about 578,000 gold in an hour. And it'll end up being 478,000 worth of iron. So that value, not including gems or cloudium, is going to be about, let's see here, about almost over $1 million, about a little over $1 million. Yeah. So $1 million per hour, and we're only using 16 machines to do that. So that's pretty cool.